Leave your comments on the Ask Reddit sub, and I'll read your answers on the next episode of LWIAR. What movie will you always recommend to people? My Cousin Vinny, a stone-cold classic, and Joe Pesci and Marisa Tomei's chemistry is brilliant. Edit. Well, I guess a lot of people also like this film. That was my dad's favorite movie and he would watch it every time he could. For his last birthday before he passed, I bought it for him on DVD, and now every year on his birthday I watch it and just laugh and cry thinking about the times we had when I was young. It's such a good movie. How can you be so sure? What's a Ute? Instant grits. Anyone who thinks that Marisa didn't deserve the Oscar for her performance can frick right off. That is one of the few Oscars that was given to the right actor. Edit. Because some people have commented. I'm going solely on the joke from Family Guy about Brian being Marissa's agent and getting her their Oscar for my assumption that there was disagreement about its validity. When I saw that episode, I thought the joke was funny because it was ironic. And I also took it to mean that because this joke was featured on a show whose lifeblood is pop culture references, that it was referring to some actual criticism around Marisa receiving that Oscar. I have no other source. So if I'm wrong, that's totally on me. Imagine you're a deer, you're prancing along, you find a little brook, you put your little deer lips down to the cool clear water. Bam! A freaking bullet rips out part of your head. Your brains are lying on the ground in little bloody pieces. Now I ask Yar, would Yar give a frick what kind of pants the son of a B-word who shot Yar was wearing? I've got a judge that's just aching to throw me in jail. An idiot who wants to fight me for $200. Slaughtered pigs. Giant loud whistles. I ain't slept in 5 days. I got no money. A dress code problem. And a little murder case which, in the balance, holds the lives of 2 innocent kids. Not to mention your stomp biological clock. My career. Your life. Our marriage. And let me see. What else can we pile on? Is there any more crap we can pile on to the top of the outcome of this case? Maybe it was a bad time to bring it up. You know, this could be a sign of things to come. You win all your cases, but with somebody else's help. Right, you win case after case. And then afterwards you have to go up to somebody and you have to say, thank you. Oh, my god, what a freaking nightmare. Clue. It's a premise that hasn't worked since. With a stellar comedic cast and great writing. The fact they made 3 or more endings for the same movie and all of them could make sense is a testament to the writing. Plus it's infinitely quotable. Edit. I've seen Knives Out and think it's also a great movie. The acting and writing was very good. Murder by Death is one I keep meaning to see but never seem to get around to. In regards to the part about the premise, I meant that Clue is the only movie based on a board game that worked. Edit. To all the people saying Jumanji, that was a book first, then a movie, then a board game. Same for Zathura. Flames at the side of my face. Every time I see this quote on Reddit I have to chime in and say that Madeline can't improvise that entire part. Truly a national treasure. I love the cue cards at the end. It could have happened like this. Other favorite part is when the lights go out and when they come back on they just walk around looking at all the dead bodies. From the Wikipedia, I'm paraphrasing. When it was released in theaters, each theater only got one of the endings. So depending where you saw it, the ending would be completely different. The version with the cue cards, and all possible endings, was only released when it was distributed for home video. Office Space. I enjoyed the silly humor and over-the-top soundtrack as a kid. Now I work in a sea of cubicles for a faceless corporation and can relate on every level. Aside from the operating system you briefly see on computer screens, it's incredible how relevant everything about that type of job still is more than 20 years later. This is the movie equivalent of the song Time by Pink Floyd. You watch, or listen, to it when you are young and you love it for its quality and entertainment value. As you get older it gets more relevant every year that goes by and you love it even more. But it depresses you more too. Ticking away the moments that make up a dull day fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way. Kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Tired of lying in the sunshine staying home to watch the rain. You are young and life is long and there is time to kill today. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You miss the starting gun. So you run and you run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking, racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Every year is getting shorter, never seem to find the time. Plans that either come to naught or half a page of scribbled lines hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way. The time is gone, the song is over, thought I'd something more to say. Yeah. I have 8 bosses, Bob. 8 bosses? Question mark, exclamation mark. Peter Gibbons. The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care. Bob Porter. Don't care. Peter Gibbons. It's a problem of motivation. Alright, now if I work my butt off and Initech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime. So where's the motivation? And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now. Bob Slidell. I beg your pardon. Peter Gibbons. 8 bosses. Bob Slidell. 8. Peter Gibbons. 8. Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That, and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that will only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired. What would you do if you had $1 million? I'll tell you what I do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, man. I have 2 cats, and they get jealous when I only pet one. So I'm always petting both. I like to put on a deep grizzly voice and say, hey, know what to do with $1 million? Pet 2 kitties at the same time. Cracks me up. So I was sitting in my cubicle today, and I realized, ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life. What about today? Is today the worst day of your life? Yay. Well, that's messed up. The Princess Bride. Why do you wear a mask? Were you burned by acid? Or something like that? Oh no, it's just they're terribly comfortable. I think everyone will be wearing them in the future. Thinking face. The Fire Swamp. We'll never survive. Nonsense. You only say that because no one ever has. Heathers. You start off thinking it's a crappy teenage rom-com about typical high school problems. And then 30 minutes in you realize you were terribly wrong and people are now getting killed. Dear Diary, my teen angst bullcrap now has a body count. The number of times I have said frick me gently with a chainsaw, and no one knew WTF I was talking about. Pure embarrassment. What We Do in the Shadows, one of the best comedies in the last decade, if not 2 decades. The TV series is just as good as the movie IMO. My wife likes the TV show more. Personally, I'm torn. The big werewolf vampire fight scene on the roof gets me every time. Creepy paper, but the movie has Jermaine. TV show has Colin Robinson. That seals it as my preference. Shawshank Redemption. I read something once that described this movie as one of the few male platonic love stories that exist in cinema, and I think that's part of the appeal. To me, the best part of the movie was Andy and Red's friendship. It was so pure and real. Is Lord of the Rings on that list? Frodo and Sam have the straight man's big gay for each other for sure. LOTR has it on 3 different levels. No, Frodo has a mission, but Sam is determined to look out for his best friend. Pippin and Merry are joined at the hip but have to learn to work alone to fully appreciate being together. Legolas and Gimli, bonded by competitive spirit, worlds apart on the surface, the same where it matters. Yeah. Hot Fuzz is a masterpiece. All of them Simon Pegg movies. Simon Pegg is fantastic, but I think it's Edgar Wright's direction that's worth recommending. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, Scott Pilgrim vs. The World, Baby Driver. Edit. As you, Spoon_millionaire pointed out, I'd miss the TV show he directed, Space. Throw in the TV show Space to this list. The Iron Giant. Superman. I will never forget this movie because of how important it was to my siblings and me one particular day. Dad hated going grocery shopping. He often stated, I'd rather peel off my skin. It was an act of sacrifice and teamwork to say you would go with him because of the way he worked us like it was a contest despite the usual apprehension. That day all three of us went with him. Instead of going grocery shopping, he took us all straight to the Iron Giant in theaters. We were gobsmacked. After, we sat on the tailgate together eating drumstick ice cream cones. The best trickery and the best day with Dad. I do like the argument that Indy is completely irrelevant to the plot of the movie. They Nazis will open the Ark anyway and all kill themselves without Indy's involvement. No way, man. Without Indy, who will tell the Nazis it belongs in a museum? 12 Angry Men. The film is over 60 years old and it still holds up so well. I know that movie is good because I watched it as a 13-year-old little crap in school and still enjoyed it. I used that film when going over the judicial system when I taught US Gov to juniors in high school. That is such a powerful movie. All my students truly learned a lot from it, including human nature. 12 Angry Men is a great movie, but a terrible example of how jury trials work. Henry Fonda's character did a lot of stuff that would get that trial ruled a mistrial. Juries can't do their own independent investigation or introduce their own evidence, i.e. the switchblade. They're supposed to listen to the arguments and evidence presented in courtroom and make a decision based on that alone. The Truman Show. It's such a well-crafted movie. Just so many little details to catch on rewatches. Like how he's told people are very sick when they need some vacation time. Or how his doctor has him taking vitamin D, because no sunlight in the dome. My favorite is when the light falls from the sky. It says Sirius on it, because that is the light they use to simulate that specific star in the night sky. Truman. I want to be an explorer. Teacher. Oh, you're too late. There's nothing left to explore. Quote. You're born too late to explore the world. Born too early to explore the galaxy. Born at the right time to explore some dank memes. Jurassic Park. It might seem cheesy by today's standards, but those special effects were mind-blowing in 1993. They still look good today. The biggest difference between the dinos introductions in 1 and 2, Lost World, is scale and distance. In 1, they're far away and look more natural as a result. Feet are also cleverly hidden. In 2, Malcolm is among the Stegos, and this really hurt the CGI IMO. The original is just a masterclass in framing and pacing to create believability and weight in threat. Groundhog Day. Just an amazing movie on how people can change for the better if you have 100 years to do it. Emperor's New Groove. Easily the best movie Disney has ever produced. Not to mention the spectacular jokes. Every character is amazing and I will recommend this movie until the day I die. Edit. Turns out the movie is from Disney and not Pixar. Sorry about that. Edit 2. Thank you so much, kind strangers that gave me awards. I love you all. Cuzco. Let me guess. Sharp rocks at the bottom. Pasha. Most likely. Cuzco. Bring it on. Booyah, aha. Second-hand lions. Hell yes. Michael Caine and Robert Duvall are amazing. The kid is a little stiff. Heck. His previous role was literally a robot, but the brothers more than make up for it. I love this film. Airplane. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Princess Bride. Edit. Thanks for the first day gold! Exclamation mark. New phone, new account, old user. Good night, Wesley. Good work. Sleep well. I'll most likely kill you in the morning. Spirited Away. This, I wish I could purge it from my memory so I could experience the first time watching this awesome movie once more. Most Miyazaki movies. Another I would for sure say is Howl's Moving Castle. Walla. Thanks for watching LWIAR. The best of recent r/AskReddit submissions and comments. If you like this video, check out LWIAR too. And don't forget to like and subscribe.